Hello. So I wanted to do a short book review, and I have to say that Tobias Schwarz-Blass sent me a free evaluation PDF of his book. I don't actually have the book, so I can't tell you what it looks like and how it feels, but that's okay. It's called the Remote Viewing Skills Enhancement Workbook. Okay. Um, well, I'll start. I think it's an excellent book. That's where I'm going to start. Um, what I mean, what I think you got to say about this book is it's everything you don't learn in a remote viewing training course that you probably need to know if you're going to be a successful remote viewer. It is not how to remote view, but I was very lucky and privileged to learn from Lynn Buchanan directly. And a lot of the things that Lynn said are in this book that aren't in the manual, the CRV manual. And then if I look through all of the books generally which have been written about remote viewing, I feel that these things are not explicitly pointed out in the same way that Tobias has done. I'm not going to go through the chapters. I've read it. I had a house move in the middle of reading it. I couldn't tell you what it step by step, which part says what. But I very much had the feeling that it was reminding me of things that I'd been told during the class, of things to do, and these things turned into exercises. And then, you're given an exercise, and he says, okay, write it down. Write down what you've experienced. And of course, that's always a useful thing to do. So it's like having your own remote viewing coach. Tobias, I mean, he is an active remote viewer doing live targets, being contracted to do live targets at the moment. I mean, he's worked professionally at this, so he's obviously got a lot of experience, and he shares some of his anecdotes. And I feel what I felt like is I've got like a coach, and I've got somebody teaching me, for example, how to deal with bad sessions or off-target sessions or whatever. Going through some things of how to create the different kinds of targets for practice targets, all kinds of things which really I would say are peripheral to remote viewing, actual training, and yet so important. So yeah, that's kind of my take on his book. I would say, yeah, it's a no-brainer if you're doing remote viewing. If, in my opinion, if you've got one valuable lesson from the book, it'd be worthwhile. And I think you're gonna get way more than one valuable, idea, information, feedback from the book. So, if you look at the price of a book, in my way of looking at things, it's a no-brainer. I'm trying to think of anything I'd like to criticize about it. No, not really, because I mean the things that I want to criticize are really to do with I was reading it on my Remarkable, and it doesn't have a backlight, so it's a bit dark sometimes, so hard to read, and also not in the Kindle version, so I couldn't change the size of the type and things like that. But so really, as far as things that are appropriate to the version that you'd buy, I don't have any really negative feedback about it. And yeah, so sorry, it's just another really positive review from me. But don't expect negative reviews. I don't think it's worth spending a lot of time dwelling on the negative. but far more useful to focus on what you're going to get. And if you get, as I say, in my mind, if you get one good idea, one great exercise that's improves your remote viewing, then it's worth its weight in gold.